Shalom, and welcome to the Feast of Tabernacles, year 6024. My name is Yahweh Israel from Orlando, Florida, and I will be giving you the agenda for this evening. Shortly, we'll open up with a prayer. After our prayer, we'll have a welcome. After our welcome, we'll have a presentation from the teaching priest of this evening. After the presentation from the teaching priest, we'll have the message from the most honorable, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. After our message, we'll have feast activities and fundraising. After the activities, we'll close out with a prayer. So with no further ado, join me as I face the east with outstretched arms and offer a prayer unto our Heavenly Father, Yahweh. O Yahweh, God of our salvation, save us and gather us together, and deliver us from this heathen, so that we may give thanks unto thy holy name, and glory in thy praises. Blessed be the holy name of Yahweh in Israel forever. O Yahweh, let them be confounded that persecute us, but let not us be confounded. Let our enemies be dismayed, but let not us be dismayed. Bring upon our enemies the day of evil, and destroy them with the double destruction. O Yahweh, forgive our fathers for breaking your laws, and please forgive us for breaking your laws. Help us never bring shame upon thy great name, nor reproach against thy words. For surely we have turned ourselves unto thee, O Yahweh, trying to be upright. As we confess our faults, please grant us protection against all of our faults, and cleanse us of our secret faults, and guide us into the best of morals. For surely our prayers and our sacrifices, our lives and our deaths, are all for thee, O Yahweh. Tefillah, Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikar Der Shemirakar, Tal Ro Makuterakar, Yazer Razonkar, Kivashemayim Kain Bards, Elet Kim Kumkenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslak Lanu, Al Kartenu, Kimosh Sokin, Gamanaknu, Lakotem Lanu, Veal Tavenu, Lade Nisayam, Kim Kalsenu, Min Harak, Kelakar, Hamam Laha, Vehagivara, Vehataferet, Lolami, Olamim Sila. We thank you, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. And let everything that has breath praise Yahweh.
Shalom and welcome, family, friends, followers, and supporters of the nation of Yahweh. Welcome to our Feast of Tabernacles in the solar year 6024, night 6, live and international. Giving all praises, distinction, honor, exaltation, and adoration to our Father Yahweh and to his humble son and servant, the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 13 through 17 sheds light on the commandment and requirements of the observation of the Feast of Tabernacles. And it reads, "Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thine wine and thine corn, and thou shalt rejoice in the feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord Yahweh thy God in the place which the Lord Yahweh shall choose, because the Lord Yahweh thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord Yahweh thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord Yahweh empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord Yahweh thy God, which he hath given thee." Now, let's take a look at the word empty in verse 16. According to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, empty in verse 16 under code number H7387 is Ragan, Resh Yud Kuf Mem Sophie, from H7386, emptily, figuratively, objective, ineffectually, subjective, undeservedly, without cause, empty, in vain, void. The Jacinius Hebrew Chaldean lexicon reads in part, empty-handed, emptily, from Jeremiah 14:3, as poor me, Ruth 3:17, to send anyone away empty without a gift. Some definitions of empty in the Merriam-Webster's online dictionary are containing nothing, not occupied or uninhabited. Synonyms for empty are lacking, barren, bare, dry. Now, Yahweh Ben Yahweh is commanding us in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16, to come to the Feast of Tabernacles, not empty, not lacking, not bearing, but full, fruitful, abundant, overflowing. And not just monetary wealth, but in talents to share, gifts to give to one another, and family, full in family to observe the laws and build the nation. As he and his household is able. That's very important. This will not look the same from my house to your house. So everyone is welcome. There are no exclusions to coming and observing and giving as you are able, and not observing empty, but observing full and overflowing according to your house. This means that all houses can come and praise and worship the Lord Yahweh here at the Feast of Tabernacles. So with that, again, I welcome everyone, all houses, all peoples, all nations, to come and observe the Feast of Tabernacles 6024, night 6. Praise Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
Well, praise Yahweh. I have the honor to introduce to you tonight our teaching priest. And for me, this truly is an honor. This brother has been a steward and servant of Yahweh for over 30 years. He took the words of Yahweh Ben Yahweh seriously and did eat them. When Yahweh told us that families make up a nation, he committed his life to bringing up his children in the way of Yahweh and leading in righteousness. When Yahweh told us to rescue our future, he committed his energy to providing education, training to our youth of our community by founding the Neo Jazz School of Music. When Yahweh told us there is much business in the cities of Judah, he committed his time to be a business owner with more than 30 years experience in management, construction, retail, sales, marketing, and audio-video productions. He continues to be an example in his ethical business practice and sharing this wisdom and knowledge with others. When Yahweh told us to work for Yahweh, he committed his efforts. He provides productions, works, and services to the betterment of our nation. And he is the host of the Unfolding Light. Yahweh Ben Yahweh is raising up kings and queens, and it is truly an honor to connect with a man who truly loves Yahweh and to call him my king. Family, I introduce to you tonight a strong brother in Yahweh and one whom I truly love, Brother Lou Yisrael.
Praise Yahweh I certainly like to thank Yahweh for sending his son, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh, to resurrect Yahweh's people and for his resurrection power as it relates to my personal journey in life. I thank Yahweh for him sending his son to resurrect me. And also I thank Yahweh for allowing me to have such an illustrious queen and Sister Tamar. Praise Yahweh. Thank you, ma'am, for that introduction. I do my work for the glorification of Yahweh, period. I don't take no credit for what Yahweh has created in me and my hands that Yahweh has created. It is all to the glory of Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. And I'm thankful to come to you this night, Feast of Tabernacles, to offer a class. Now, last night, we had a very special class. It was about how to study the Bible. And during that class, we also learned that the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh, he gave us a 10-step study method to study his divine mind. And it was also said that you could take that 10-step study method and apply it to any subject, and you will gain a scholarly wealth of knowledge pertaining to that subject. So tonight, I want to put that method to the test. Now, because of time restraints, we won't have time to go and utilize all 10 steps. But what I want to do tonight is prove to you how much information you can glean with just a few steps, 1 or 2 steps. And we'll go through a study of a subject that comes from the book written by the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh, entitled How to Overcome the World. And my subject matter is coming from the chapter that is labeled or named Discern How to Conduct a Necessary Business Properly. So that's the subject matter. How to discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. Now, if you want to overcome the world, these are principles you have to understand. You have to understand that you must conduct a necessary business properly. That's one of the things that you have to accomplish. So even before we get to that, we want to go to our first scripture for this evening. And our first scripture is Romans chapter 12, verse 9. And I'll paraphrase it, read it, paraphrase it. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. In honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business. Fervent in spirit. Serving Yahweh. Rejoicing in hope. Patient in tribulation. Continuing instant in prayer. Distributing to the necessity of the saints of Yahweh. Given to hospitality. Praise Yahweh. That's Romans chapter 12, verse 9 through 13. And as we begin our studies today, the proof is in the pudding. Yahweh made it so that there is no more excuses, family. If you own a phone, You know, they call them smartphones. They don't seem so smart to me. They seem too smart at times. But using a cell phone, we're going to use one dictionary tonight. And that's the dictionary, dictionary.com. It's an app. It's on my phone. And we'll use that, and we'll start this study with the subject matter: discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. So the first word we must study is discern. Okay, most of us scholars know what discern means, but do we really? Every time we go into the dictionary and begin to study these words, we find that there's more information that we did not know. So let's try it. Dictionary.com defines discern as to perceive by the sight or some other sense, or by the intellect. See, recognize, or apprehend. I didn't say comprehend, I said apprehend. Second definition is to distinguish mentally, recognize as distinct or different. Discrimination. That's the definition of discern from dictionary.com. Now let's go back a little. It said to apprehend. The only thing I know about the word apprehend is when the police get at you after you to apprehend you. So let's look up that word again, dictionary.com on your cell phone. Apprehend means to take into custody, arrest by legal warrant or authority. Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me part of discerning is to take into custody, arrest by legal warrant or authority, Okay, so apprehend means to take into custody or arrest. What does arrest mean? So again, dictionary.com, we go to arrest. Arrest means to seize by legal authority, take into custody. Okay, so this really is not dealing with, Blue Lives Matter or the police. This is dealing with intellectually and mentally taking something into your custody by the authority of the one who created it. So the power to discern is the power to perceive by the sight or other senses, or by the intellect, the divine mind, that as you study, you begin to possess. To distinguish mentally and recognize as distinct or different, to discriminate. So the last word that we need to study that's part of the word discern is recognize. So we go to the dictionary again for recognize. Recognize is to identify from knowledge of appearance or characteristics, to perceive as existing or true, to realize. Now, this information from one dictionary, the dictionary, an app, as they call it, a dictionary app on your phone, has given us a breakdown of the word discern to where we have a greater understanding than perhaps we had before we did this study. Now, that's just the first word, just discern. So now let's get into the meat of the study. The meat of the study is a necessary business properly, how to conduct a necessary business properly. So, of course, let's do our study again using two of the 10-step study method, because the first thing is to look up the word. Then you have to look up words within the definition to gain a greater understanding. Of course, you have to go to synonyms and in different reference books, but we don't have time tonight to do that. But just the first two steps is going to give us such a greater understanding of this topic, discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. So let's get back to our studies. Now, let us talk about, well, first of all, overcoming the world requires you to understand how to conduct a necessary business properly. The businessmen of this world are corrupt, dishonest, untrustworthy, criminal, unprincipled, and just downright wicked. And of course, the list goes on of the negative business dealings of businessmen of this world. So if you want to conduct the necessary business properly, what must you do? Well, the scriptures, of course, gives us, or the word of Yahweh, Yahweh, who is the word, gives us a good course to follow. And we can find that in the scriptures, Acts chapter 6, verse 3 and 4. And I'll read it. And also Joshua 1 and 8. So let's read Acts chapter 3 and 4. It said, wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom of Yahweh, whom we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word. Now we go to Joshua 1 and 8, and it says, okay, don't want it. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Now, those two scriptures talk about the opposite way of doing business than the businessmen of this world and how they do business. Talks about the opposite way. So let's get into the definition of necessary business properly. Let's start with necessary. What does it mean in order to overcome the world? We must understand how to conduct a necessary business properly. Why can't it just be a business? Why is it distinguishing a certain type of business, a necessary business? So let's go and see what the word necessary means. Again, we're going with the dictionary app on your phone, dictionary.com. And necessary is defined as being essential and indispensable. Necessary is being essential and indispensable. So, of course, using the second step in the study method, what does the word essential, necessary as being essential, what does essential mean? Essential is defined, same source, a basic, indispensable element, chief point. Ooh, got deep pretty quick. Okay, so essential, necessary is essential. Essential is a basic, indispensable element, chief point. Also, we find in the word necessary, indispensable. So what does indispensable mean? Indispensable means incapable of being disregarded or neglected. Wow. Necessary means is essential or indispensable, which means incapable of being disregarded or neglected. I profess to you that this is talking about our people, because Yahweh said he would never forget his children. No matter what condition we were in, he would not forget us, and he fulfilled his promise by sending the most honorable, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, to pick us up, to dust us off and clean us off and set us on the path to righteousness, to Yahweh. So we're not dispensable as we thought we were. We're indispensable. And we're incapable of being disregarded or neglected. And we know we've neglected ourselves for these last 465 years of this slavery in America. We neglected the law prior to that, which caused us to go in slavery, because Yahweh fulfilled his promises. And he promised that if we turned away from his law and his way, that he would put us in slavery and we would serve 400 years. And that's just what happened to us. Now he had fulfilled his promise in sending the most honorable, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, to resurrect us and to reconcile us and to make an atonement for us so we can get back to that state of righteousness and be acceptable to Yahweh. So let us go back to this, a necessary business properly, how to conduct. We have to discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. So that wisdom we just talked about is found in the word necessary. So necessary is incapable of being disregarded. That means that until we regard the necessary businesses, we will be wandering around in the darkness of the wilderness like when we left Egypt. Now, to move into the promised land, we have to not neglect or disregard ourselves, our business selves. So let's move to the second word, or the next word. The next word is business. We just talked about necessary. Now let's talk about business. Everybody knows that business is pretty deep and thorough, but we're using the same source. So I do implore you to utilize the other steps and continue your studies on this topic. Don't just go with the first two steps that we're doing tonight. Go ahead and then deploy some of the other steps and go deeper into this study. Wish we had time tonight, but we don't. So let's move on. Business. What is the definition of business? Now, there's a lot of people in business. There's a lot of people doing business. And there's even people who own business. People work for businesses. But what does business mean? So according to the dictionary.com, the app on your phone, a business is defined as a person, partnership, or corporation engaged in commerce, manufacturing, or a service. Profit-seeking enterprises or concern. All right, so that's the definition of business from our app. But as we see, there's words in this definition that will allow us to go deeper into our understanding of business. So I'll read the definition again. A person, partnership, or corporation engaged in commerce, manufacturing, or a service, profit-seeking enterprise or concern. So the first word in that definition that we need to define is commerce. Business is commerce. What is commerce? So according to the dictionary, commerce is the interchange of goods or commodities, especially on a large scale between different nations, foreign commerce, or between different parts of the same nation, domestic commerce. Also, commerce is trade. Consider that for a second. You have foreign commerce, when we're doing business, exchanging goods and services and commodities to other nations. And we have domestic commerce, when we're doing the same with different parts within our nation. And it boils down to trading. If you have something I need and I have something you need, let's make a deal. Let's do some trade. And we can keep it going on. I have trees and you have automobiles. I need automobiles, you need wood. Let's make a trade. So that's commerce. Also in the word business is the word manufacturing. I couldn't pass that word out, because the root word of manufacturing is man. And the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh taught us man refers to divine mind. So manufacturing is part of business. Now, what does manufacturing mean? Of course, we go to the dictionary, and manufacturing is defined as the making or producing of anything. The making or producing of anything. Now, of course, there's small scale manufacturing and there's large scale manufacturing. There's domestic manufacturing and there's international manufacturing. Manufacturing is just making things. Everything that you use, the chair you're sitting on, the desk you're leaning on, the cup you're holding, whatever it is, had to be made. That's manufacturing. And when you offer a service, you still manufacturing. That's right. You have knowledge and you're offering a service to someone else. You're manufacturing that service that you are charging people for as part of the manufacturing. But moving to the next word, and this one is a little strange, I would say, but it is part of business. It's called profit seeking. Part of the definition of business is profit seeking enterprise or concern, a profit seeking concern or profit seeking enterprise. So what is profit seeking? So the word profit, if you look it up in the dictionary, you will find it means to be of service or benefit. What? To be of service or benefit? To make progress. Wait a minute, I thought profit was money. I thought profit was making money. What do you mean to be of service or benefit? To make progress. Also, another definition, same source, the monetary surplus left to a producer or employer after deducting wages, rent, cost of raw materials, etc. Okay, wait a minute. I know more about this profit because this profit tells me that if I own a business, everybody else get paid before me. That's what it says. My employees get paid even if I don't get paid. Check that out. And I can testify to you that. Back in the early 90s, I was in the retail business in 3 different shopping malls, and I had stores. And some of my stores, the help, my employees get paid more than I did because you have to pay them and you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your overhead. And what's left after doing all that is yours. Well, sometimes there's nothing left. But to profit is to make progress. So that was an unprofitable business if everybody else is getting paid and you're not. So that's not a necessary business, and it's definitely not how to conduct a necessary business properly, because you're supposed to profit, and that means to be of service or benefit and to make progress. Okay, so now when we think about that profit, we can go a lot deeper in the word profit, because when you're talking about being of service, that's a necessity, and it's necessary to be of service to our nation, to our people, to our family, to our customers, to our patrons. In business, it is a necessity, it is necessary for you to be of service or benefit to your customers. In other words, you can't overcome the world if you have a business that scams your customers. You know, you tell them it's 8 ounces, but the box weighs 7 ounces and the content weighs 1 ounce, and you buy. And that's what the businessmen of this world do. You know, they'll give you a bag of chips or a box of cereal, and when you open it, why is the box so big when the cereal is all the way down at the bottom? If they're giving you an illusion of you getting the value when you're not, so that they can profit, but not be a benefit or a service to you. Praise Yahweh. All right. We see that the dictionary, the online dictionary, the app, can take you deep. So we're actually getting close to my time, so I'm going to move a little faster because I don't have much left, but I will be moving a little faster. The next word is properly. Okay, remember, we're talking about discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. So let's dive into properly. Properly is defined as in a way that is appropriate to the purpose or circumstances, suitably, correctly. Second definition for properly is in a way that conforms to established standards of behavior or manners. That's talking about ethics. We just went straight into ethics because when you conform to an established standard, only one that established the righteous standards of the universe is the creator of the universe, Yahweh, who happens to be our God, our Father, and who do we serve? So his standards is the standard of behavior or manners that is conformed in a way that conforms to established standards of behaviors or manners. That's what properly means. Now, in the definition of properly, we have the word appropriate. So let's go to appropriate. Appropriate is defined as suitable or fitting for a particular purpose, person, occasion. Okay, now who determines who is suitable? Well, Yahweh's law is the gauge in which our standards are set. Okay, second definition for appropriate is belonging to or particular to a person. So we keep getting back to that first person singular, Yahweh. the one who established the standards of the universe, the one who established the standards of geometry and mathematics and all of the so-called sciences. They were established before scientists called themselves scientists. They were established before we were created. Praise Yahweh. All right. So the business, when you talk about the business of this world, we know how corrupt they are and wicked. So when we begin to understand how to, when we begin to discern how to conduct a necessary business properly, then we know we have to do it the opposite of the way that is currently being done. You have all of these corporations that don't care about their people. They're not creating a service that's beneficial. They're creating a service that is not beneficial. And then they want to force their service on you, like the DMV, is not beneficial the way they conduct business, but because it's the only game in town, you're forced to deal with them. We know the jokes about government workers. They get paid the same regardless of how quick they work, or, and the bureaucracy is just, you're going to deal with a whole lot of negativity when you have to deal with those things. And nobody likes dealing with the Social Security Administration or any of these government agencies, because of the bureaucracy. But that's not the point. The point is the opposite of that is being of service and of benefit in your business. So another scripture I want to go to before we end is, we're going to skip down to, because of time, Matthew 25 and 21. See, when you, first of all, you have to purge yourself from all the youthful lust and depart from iniquity, corruption, dishonesty, criminality, and all wickedness. You have to purge yourself of that. You have to depart from all of that. You have to become a vessel of honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. You have to follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on Yahweh out of a pure heart. 2 Timothy 2:19, 21, and 22. The scriptures reveal the mercy of Yahweh and forgiveness. When a man departs from iniquity, which in time past was unprofitable, but become profitable by following righteousness. And that's how you become profitable, by following righteousness. When you follow righteousness and trade in business in an honest manner, when judgment comes, you will hear these words from the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord Yahweh Ben Yahweh. This is Matthew 25:21. And as we begin to end, we need to understand that in Genesis 12:2, it says that Yahweh will make our name great and that we'll be a blessing to all nations. When we become righteous, righteousness exalts the nation. And Yahweh is waiting for us to do his will so that he can bless our name and give us a great name, Yahweh, the children of Yahweh, and also bless the world by us, by our righteous nation, to be blessed of the world. So now we see that there's no excuses to gain knowledge. There's no excuse if you have a smartphone or a phone with a dictionary or a tablet or a computer that you can go to dictionary.com. If you don't have your books, you don't have access to hard copies of books or anything of that nature, now you should be able to carry a dictionary in your pocket on your phone with an app that can really seriously get you deep. We didn't even get into synonyms. We just looked up a few words within the definition of a few words and got to a wealth of knowledge on discern how to conduct a necessary business properly. Now, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh is going to teach us tonight a concept of having a plan and getting together and doing something in a single-minded way, and how the results will favor the prepared. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, the architect of the universe, the blessed and only potentate, the founder of the nation of Yahweh. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Come on, everybody.
This is the time, this is the place where we all have come to seek Yahweh's face.
Remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
Now that may sound strange, and it certainly looks strange when you consider this people constitute the so-called blacks of America. And when you look at the condition of the so-called black man of America, you see right away that how could anyone be blessed of them? Let's look at Genesis 12:2. The Feast of Tabernacles is to let you know you are blessed and how blessed you are. Read.
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
I'm the one speaking. You're looking at the one speaking in this verse. You're hearing the I speaking. The I in this verse is speaking to you. Now, Yahweh didn't tell white people, go to America and I'll make you the rulers of the world. Yahweh didn't tell white people, go to America and I'll make your name great. They told themselves. They got together and told themselves that. And knew and found out there were Indians here, so they had to subdue the owners of this land before they could take control of it. And white people didn't say, we can't do it. They conspired together. That's obvious. They conspired together in secret council. And on the one hand, they pretended to be the Indians' friend. And by the time he became conscious of him having a forked tongue, he was subdued. By the time the Indian made up his mind that he needed to fight, it was too late to fight. Because there were already too many white folks here with guns against bows and arrows. They came in with a conspiracy of a superior position. So by conspiracy, one group of white folk pretended to be the friend, and some other white folk killed some Indians. And then one set of white folks said, see, that's just a bad white man, but don't y'all bother him, turn him over to us. Y'all can't try him, only we can try him. Turn him over to us. The white man's law will govern the white man. So they brought him over, charged him, sent the Indians home, sent him over to another section to kill some Indians over somewhere else. One group played good while the other group was bad. So every Indian knew some good white folks. There wasn't an Indian that didn't know some good white people. I don't know who took that country from them, but must have been some bad white folks somewhere, because trying to figure out where they were, because all the Indians knew was good folk. Kind of reminds me of black people in America. Every black man in America knows good white folks. There's not a black one yet that doesn't have some good, that don't know them. I've been trying to figure out where the bad ones are. My subject point here is that they came to America with a plan to take America from the Indian, and they did it. And they came back to Africa on the West Coast, where we had been banished as Hebrews and living in exile, and ran another game now. They came among us and Shalom Aleichem. Said, we go into a new world where you can make 1,000,000 times more money than you can over here. We were gullible, got right on the ship. We marched on the ship. It was only in the last years that they took you by force. Them niggas just got on the ship going to get rich in the new world. They got you out in the middle of the sea where you couldn't swim. They locked the hatch on you. Overpowered you with guns. You didn't have any. You were promised gold. You've been here 434 years without a plan. But white people worked their plan and took America and caused the world to send their children to her to be educated. And we even turn our children over to them to be educated. And after we get an education, we come out looking for a job from the people that educated us to look for a job. And they continue in their rulership. And God didn't ordain them to rule the world forever. Yet they have ruled the world. They're losing it. You notice? Anybody notice that white America is losing her rulership around the world?
Yahweh Ben Yahweh, because of you I exist.
Praise Yahweh. I'd certainly like to thank the Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh for this message at this time, for us to understand that we are people who have been here for 465 years without a plan. All other nations come here with a plan. He talked about how the white man came with a plan and executed their plan to precision and took this land. We see other races like Mexicans and Cubans and Haitians and Bahamians, all of them come over here with nothing. And they have a little community before you know it, where they all live in a little community. And then after that, they start controlling that community. And now people like the Cubans control metropolitan international cities like Miami. And we see the results of us not having a plan. We've been here longer than any of them. And what have we built? Well, the only significant thing in my lifetime that was built that I could see is what the Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh built in the nation of Yahweh. Now, he gave us that roadmap. But before we even talk about it, let's go back up. Yahweh said in the scripture, in his word, that, we are to be a blessing to the world, to all nations. He said, he shall make our name great and we shall be a blessing to the whole world. In Genesis, that was Genesis chapter 12, verse 2. So all nations conspired to cut us off, that our name, our great name, that we wouldn't remember our great name. And they conspired together to cut us off from being a nation. Why did they do that? They did that simply because of Genesis chapter 12, verse 2, where it says Yahweh will make our name great and all nations shall be blessed from us, in us. Well, you mean to tell me they don't want all nations to be blessed? Well, are all nations blessed now? Is it because of their rulership that all nations are blessed or not blessed? And of course, we see that they're not blessed. And in fact, they're mourning, but that's another subject. So one of the reasons why they cut us off is because righteousness exalts the nation. And if we would be righteous, Yahweh would make us the rulers of the world. Now, when I say the rulers of the world, I must explain rulers, because most people think we're going to be the Joe Bidens of the world and the Putin's, Vladimir Putin's and all these leaders of the world. We're going to be ruling nations. And although we may have control over nations, our rulership is a ruler of measurement. Righteousness is something you have to be measured by. And as righteous rulers, we are the measuring reference for the world. Our righteousness in the laws of Yahweh and how we conduct our righteous ethical business, that is the measuring instrument, i.e. ruler of the world, the real world, not Satan's world, because you can be wicked in his world and you will gain a whole lot of worldly things. You'll lose your soul, but you'll gain a lot of worldly things. So ruler is that measuring instrument. So for us to be the ruler, that means all nations have to measure up to our righteousness and measure their righteousness by the children of Yahweh's righteousness. And he knows that when we turn back to his law, to Yahweh's law, when the devil knows when we turn back to Yahweh's law, that our name will be great once again, and we will be exalted to the righteous rulers of the planet. Now, that's why he seek to cut us off. And he also gave us this word conspiracy theory. Yahweh Ben Yahweh taught us about all of his conspiracies. Conspiracies is when people get together and decide to do something, whether it's to go drive a car or to rob a liquor store. They got together and they talked about it and they carried it out. That's a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory is when it's something made up that didn't happen, that never happened. So the devil taught us that everything he do is a conspiracy theory, and that you are crazy to believe in them conspiracy theorists. He coined the phrase. But the true conspiracy is to keep us away from each other and not working together, pooling our resources and building the cities and the nations and the businesses that the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh came in the flesh and taught us how to do. That's the conspiracy. Now, are we going to prove that this conspiracy is true, that we will get together and be single-minded in building a righteous, moral society, a moral nation? Well, Sister Tamar, as we get into this fundraiser, I mean, the businesses that are, well, that concludes the night class, but because we're moving into our fundraiser, go ahead, Sister Tamar. That concludes the night class. Now we're into the fundraiser. I'm sorry, I had to pause for a second for the applause. Thank you, I appreciate it. And now the theme of class is about discerning how to conduct a necessary business properly. Well, what is the necessary businesses that our nation needs? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the things, because, you know, we don't need snowball shops where we got ice and put a bunch of sugar on it and sell it to little children. We don't need a bunch of snowball stands, or snow cones as we call them up north, you know, where you get the worst kind of sugar and put some food coloring in it and put it on ice and sell it to little children. That's not a necessary business. That's not the definition of a necessary business. Just like the bungee jumping business.
Well, I want to thank Yahweh for all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that's been shared this evening. I thank Yahweh for his teaching priests as they shared their studies with us and just sharing with us how to study. Toda, Brother Lou, Toda Yahweh for your sharing this evening. And you're right. We have to get to the point where we're connected to what's essential, what's necessary. And I really appreciate you diving into the idea of necessary, because we've gotten to a point where the solopreneur and individualism has continued to be a destructive force, even in creating businesses. And we as individual business owners see the many challenges of trying to start and create your own business and really offering something that is of benefit. So I really appreciate us getting deep down into this knowledge, because it really helps us put an analysis framework on what we've been subscribing to, right? Yahweh Ben Yahweh teaches us how to study. So we analyze the fact that we've been exposed to a lot of wicked business ownerships, wicked industries, and people that are in it for their own individual benefit and not to our collective benefit. It helps us really connect to the idea that we have to revisit our practices as business owners, really connect to the ideas and the understanding of having values. And values is also really understanding that what we do, the products that we create, the service that we provide, are for the benefit, not just for yourself,
Right.
but the people, the planet, everything. We do righteous businesses. So that said, I'm excited about this conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Likewise, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh has fired us up with this, talking about how, other nations just have a plan and they carry out their plan and they accomplish their missions. Although it's for wickedness, they still accomplish their mission. Yahweh didn't choose them to be the rulers of the world, yet and still they ruling. And so now Yahweh chose us and he ordains us and gave us the authority. And we don't need a gun for this. We don't have to fight the current rulers. They're fighting themselves out of business. They're fighting themselves out of favor with the people.
Indeed. People are shifting and looking for alternatives.
Absolutely.
And that said, the children of Yahweh are creating that alternative for our families.
Well, we had to be charitable first.
Indeed, for ourselves.
We have to do businesses that benefit us first, our children first.
And we've created within the nation in a program. So
absolutely, we've created. It is done. It's created, and now we have to go ahead and do a little structure in the office.
Indeed, we've created a grant program absolutely. For small businesses, and through our strong efforts of fundraising that we've done here this feast, we're able to launch this program. Now, this is just the first phase of this, of course. And if we want to keep these businesses going, we want to continue to invest in this program being bigger and better each year. But the second phase of actually after we get the grant program out and distributed, we want to do that again. But the second phase of what we want to do in this
initial fundraising efforts that we have been guided to do by this current situation and having an online feast.
It's also creating Yahweh's Nation Building Institute, which will be an online, virtually facilitated training program where we learn cooperative business practices.
Now, let me pause for 1 second, because I want you to get into cooperative businesses practice. That is very essential and necessary for our nation. But what I wanted to say was, it's essential that we train our future and train ourselves. And the ones of us who have wealth of knowledge have to understand that it's time to give that knowledge. We don't know how long we'll be in the flesh. So we have to establish this institute, and it's for the benefit of and the service of our nation. But I can go on, so I'm gonna want you to get to the co-op program because it's an essential part of this institute.
Well, one of the ills and woes that we have within our nation and as a people is not having connections to having collaborative decision-making practices.
Absolutely.
One critical element that the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh provided us was a platform to learn and study and share in knowledge so that we can have a shared understanding and a shared set of values. Well, cooperative business practices create a model of shared business ownership, though they operate very similarly to partnerships or even corporations. They are framed with a different value metrics, like we were talking about absolutely. In our class tonight, that we have a commitment to creating companies and businesses that are for a benefit. They are
Right.
served, they are there to meet the needs of
our
its
community,
members.
right, of the members and the community at large.
Exactly. So that's why we're introducing the framework of cooperatives, especially in a language where in a day where there's so much government legislation
Right.
in favor of these businesses. So what we want to do is we want to plan and be strategic in utilizing whatever resources we need to create and build our nation.
And that's why we're fundraising, because we're fundraising to where we can't wait for anybody else to do it for us. You know, we don't need somebody else to do what we can do for ourselves. 2 nights ago, when we reached our first goal, we saw that our family is in. We're ready to do this one action. We love Yahweh, no doubt. We love each other. And we all study the divine mind of the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Now that one action is, we have to bring it together.
Let's
and
learn together.
Focus our energies on building the necessary businesses to sustain ourselves and not wait for the government or, you know, we see they're on fire and all of the corporations and wicked businessmen to provide goods and services and resources for ourselves. We have to provide it for ourselves. They're not going to provide it for us. They can barely provide it for themselves right now.
Indeed. And before we get into our talent section, I will have one last comment about the Nation Building Institute, because it is a means to an end.
Absolutely.
And it is a way for us to learn about the number of business models that there are out there and business practices, so that we can own real estate, so that we can own resources and commodities that are needed for us to do what's needed for nation building.
And we must avail ourselves of this information. We can't let us build this institute and fund it and research and get all these people, these scholars together and these other people that we're paying resources to teach at the institute, and we don't avail ourselves of this information. As a nation, we have to avail ourselves of this information and put it to work, practical use in our own lives. Can't just let it go and say, oh, that's for them. No, it's for us, all of us.
So that said, we are availing ourselves to an array of talent, array of wisdom, array of knowledge in this Feast of Tabernacles. And up next at our feast is a performance by our sister Jochebed and brother Levon with the Lord's Prayer. And as they are in their performance, family, we have our donate sign.
Absolutely.
Information here on screen. So do make sure you connect to these things that we are saying and understanding that we're inviting you to build together.
And don't be shy. Don't be shy. If you have $20 you can spare, donate it. If you have $500 you can spare, donate it. If you have $1 million, we would love that also. But don't feel bad if all you have is $1. Those dollars add up. Praise Yahweh.
Yes, sir. And now to our stage, Sister Jochebed Sarah and Brother Levon Israel.
Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Wow.
Amazing talent from our sister Yocheved, Sarah, and brother Lavon, the sax man extraordinaire.
Praise Yahweh.
We as a nation, we culture.
We have a very
we're
diverse
refined
pool of talent, and it all centers around and has the foundation in the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh and the understanding of Yahweh. Praise Yahweh.
And indeed, in the line of being on target and in point, our Father talked to us about having a plan. And the conversation we're having this evening is about our plan of action towards nation building. And we got some family members that are out there that are serious. Now, they've been making them donations. They've been
making
pledges. And we want to open it up to our family who is serious about creating a plan.
Rep your city.
And connecting to this work that we're doing. Now, we have allowed our lines to be unmuted. So if you want to join us
for our conversation,
indeed, unmute yourself and let us know how serious you are about this planning process that we're engaging in.
And let's get some donations going on, because we have lots of work to do. This is an ongoing situation in our nation. We are building. We're on the move, and you will see what you're donating to. You'll see the progress of our nation, because we're getting serious. We have been studying for years. We have been, exercising that 2 Timothy 2:15, and we've been praying to Yahweh for him to approve us. And he has approved this move, this action. Come together. Pool your resources.
And let's create the essential businesses. Now we have
that's first.
Many people that are creating products, goods, and services in our nation.
And we want to promote all those businesses and all those products and services.
It takes resources for all this to come together. See, in time past, we haven't been serious about planning coming together.
Right.
Well, this nation building effort is about funding the need to create the new businesses,
funding the plan,
to develop the resources that are needed for us to come together and understand how to connect. And the Nation Building Institute is one way, but in the third phase of our program, once we engage in the learning, once we engage in the teaching our children how to create these businesses, we will then actually purchase and make decisions on the real estate that's needed. And we're talking about immediate family.
Absolutely. So we need a school where the children can go to, a boarding school, for the gifted children. We need all kinds of things. We need farms. We need, we need technology. We need but we produce that in his world every day.
And we're talking about essential for our nation building.
Absolutely.
And so if we're serious about having something for our children and having something for our children's children, the work is connecting to nation building through providing resources for businesses to be created.
Right. And we have to provide the resources for ourselves. That means we're putting money together so that we can give the resources in the areas that is most essential and necessary to help our young people, our young entrepreneurs and our older entrepreneurs to maintain, sustain, expand on business, and sometimes even to launch their businesses. So it's all inclusive. It's a holistic approach to nation building. And it starts with us pooling our resources.
Yes, sir. Well, with that said, we haven't had anybody jump on the line now. So we know y'all are out there, family. We've had some big inspiring donations come in, but we also want to open up for the ones who want to be inspired by the donations. So
absolutely.
Don't be afraid to donate whatever.
Right. And I mentioned that New Orleans was sandbagging last night.
Okay.
And we got a donation of $500 from New Orleans from TMH Financial Solutions, which is founded and operated by Sister Tamar. So even though we've had a devastating setback during the current pandemic crisis, and Yisrael Records and Yisrael Entertainment has not been doing a lot of entertainment these days. But nevertheless, Yahweh always take care of us. And as Yahweh take care of us, we have to give it forward. So Yisrael Entertainment, who is now recognized as Yisrael Edutainment, because we entertain and educate, is pledging a $500 pledge for this fundraising. I encourage all the businesses up on board, all the cities on board.
Wow, praise Yahweh. We are making moves as a nation. So we got another $500 pledge
Donation
coming in from New
by the
Orleans.
end of the week.
Well, I think I see a hand raised here.
Uh-oh.
Is that another city jumping online? We're gonna ask this person with their hand raised to unmute themselves.
All right.
All right, the line is unmuted.
I heard something. Shalom. Praise Yahweh.
This is brother Aaron Israel
All
from
right.
Orlando,
Orlando's in the house.
and I will be donating.
Brother Aaron, are you still with us?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, welcome, Brother Aaron. Shalom.
I will be donating $10.
Well, praise Yahweh.
Oh, that was loud. Let's try that
Praise
again.
Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. You know, 12.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
praise Yahweh. Yahweh, may Yahweh bless you eternally, and may our fundraising efforts benefit you in the very near future. I hear you a video production, you're a content creator.
Yes, sir.
We need that desperately. That is a necessity, a necessary business. So I look forward to getting with you and doing some projects together maybe in the near future.
Me too.
All right, brother.
All right, praise Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And Brother Aaron, I'm so thankful that you're on the line. I thank Yahweh for you. And do you plan to start a business in Yahweh soon, or are you already a business owner?
I mean, I got a little small community on YouTube, I guess.
See, well, that is
There you
your
go.
business.
That's your
Praise
business.
Yahweh.
And you do a good job, my brother.
Toda Yahweh. Well, thank you so much, Brother Aaron.
And I'm so encouraged by your donation and by your spirit and even your teaching on the name Aaron. I learned things I didn't know about Aaron from listening to you. Praise Yahweh.
Thank you, sir. Shalom.
All righty. Shalom.
Shalom, brother.
See, our youth understand the importance of their future.
Exactly.
So-
and they're willing to sacrifice and donate to their future.
Exactly. He has a small community, a business that he's a
Absolutely.
content creator, which is a business. So
Absolutely.
with that, we have some more content to share for
All
you
right.
this evening.
Praise Yahweh.
Our scholars are abundant in the nation of Yahweh.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And then featured in this feast, we have a scholarly presentation from our sister Shifra Bat Yahweh. Praise
Praise
Yahweh. And we welcome to our stage Sister Shifra Bat Yahweh.
Shalom, family. This is part 2 of All in One Breath.
Wrong part.
We're
Wrong part.
gonna have to get that right part up there. We
We want to
apologize.
do part 1 before we do part 2.
Praise Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. We may have to go to something else for a minute. Well, meanwhile, while we're doing that, I think we got them mixed up. So we'll be back with that in a minute. But meanwhile, you still have an occasion to donate to our fundraiser. We're trying to run, we're into phase 2. Already we thought phase 1 would be, it would take the whole feast to just get to the end of phase 1, but it didn't, because we have serious people out there. We have serious family members that know that this is the time, this is our time. This is not the 80s. Yahweh Ben Yahweh demonstrated to us, and he blessed us so abundantly with his presence and his knowledge. But he said, greater works you have to do. And he made us do these works by taking away all that he built. And now it's up to us to do it again. See, if we built it a year after he took it away, then they'll say it was him. If we built it, you know, if we maintain what he built, then it would be not the greater works that we shall do, it would be his works. So we understand the mystery of why everything had to be destroyed so that we can build it again. Yes, ma'am.
Well, we do have that video coming up from our sister Shifra, but in the meantime, we do have a performance by the Israel Trio.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'll go get ready.
All right, go get ready. Go get your bass, Brother Lou.
Uh-oh.
Shalom.
Praise Yahweh. What a talented group of young men.
I think they deserve a round of applause. Praise Yahweh. Exceptional talent this evening. And we thank our Father Yahweh for all the amazing talent that he gives us. This is that creativity, that divine mind that we are sharing in this expression. Now, I do believe that someone was trying to get on
in before we rolled into that
segment. So let's see if we can get those lines unmuted again. If there was a caller who wanted to join in, you should be able to *6 and unmute yourself.
Praise Yahweh, and don't be bashful, don't be shy. We building our nation together, and you don't want to be one of those people that say, well, I would have gave something, but I didn't have time. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You have time right now.
You can also pledge. If you don't have it today and you have it tomorrow, that number that you see on screen, which is area code 504-336-3280. Again, that's area code 504-336-3280. You can text the word pledge and you'll get a link directly into your text message. And then if you text the word donate, you'll get the donate link for you to actually make a donation right now.
And it doesn't matter how big or small the donation is. We just all into it together. That's all. So
we do have another performance, that one that we were about to share. We have the right one.
And we're looking forward to it.
Praise Yahweh. A scholarly presentation from our sister Shifra Ben Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Welcome to the stage.
Family, friends, and visitors. My name is Shifra Yahweh Ben Yahweh. I will be coming to you not on my name, but the responsibility of the name, titled All in One Breath. My chronological record and mark of memorial can be found in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 15 through 22, which took place in Africa, the land of Egypt. This past, present, and event of activities regard two Hebrew Israelite midwives, Shifra being the principal midwife in charge of delivering babies for the Hebrew Israelite women in Egypt, whom also was the one during these family visits were able to inspire, convince, and encourage a small group of Hebrew Israelites to recall or bring into mind the name and the laws of the Lord Yahweh. The story is renowned for the midwife's notable success on keeping the Hebrew Israelite male children alive, and for the fact that regardless of what could have happened, Shifra feared Yahweh. Despite her own life, her job, and her family, Shifra put Yahweh first. Ecclesiastes 12:13 reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man," which includes women and children. So let us talk about fear for a moment. The Merrill F. Unger's Bible Dictionary, page 404, copyright 1966, describes fear as affection of the mind that arises with the consciousness of approaching danger, which means your intellectual ability is behaving unnaturally when you are or about to be exposed to evil, injury, or loss. Now, there are a few different types of fear. Superstitious fear, which is a belief resulting from ignorance. Fear of the unknown, or trust in things like magic, chance, or false conception. Then we have servile fear, which is suitable to someone with a slave mentality, very obedient, but trying too hard to please their modern day Pharaoh. But the fear I speak of from Exodus 1:17 deals with filial fear, or genetics, pertaining to a specific generation, which relates to those that are identified as Yahweh Ben Yahweh's sons and daughters, and how our minds are affected when we are about to be exposed to evil, injury, or loss. Feline fear has the ability for Yahweh's sons and daughters to adjust and recover readily from any unwelcome major life changes. This type of fear causes us not to offend Yahweh, but to strive to achieve in all things to please him. The Hebrew-Greek Key Word Study Bible, copyright 1984, says to fear, code 3372, Yoreh, Yod Aleph Resh, is moral. Morality deals with the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. When our minds have been affected by fear, we must still maintain a sense of morality. 1 Peter 4:15 says, "But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters." This world invites us to do all of the above, but the fear of Yahweh commands his sons and daughters that have inherited his quality and character to be innocent, clean, virtuous, responsible, honest, straightforward, and directed. We are to separate ourselves from those that are not guided by quick, acute, intuitive moral perception or consideration. We should be morally focused on pleasing Yahweh despite any unpleasant harm we may be exposed to. The Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into our nostrils the breath of life, and we became a living soul, according to Genesis 2:7. Have you ever experienced a baby taking their first breath or someone giving their last? The one who receives their first breath shows the strength of life, and when they breathe their last breath, they return to the ground. On that day, their plans have come to an end. Psalms 146:4-6. But even after physical life, that soul still belongs to Yahweh. The New Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, copyright 2003, defined the word breath, code 5397, pronounced neshama in Hebrew, as divine inspiration, intellect. Our breath is our soul. It is also angry or vital breath. Now, a person's soul is the spiritual principle embodied within them, your total self. Yahweh Ben Yahweh says in Ezekiel 18:4, "Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also is the soul of the Son. The soul that sinneth, it shall die." From the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, vital is defined as 1, needed by your body to keep living. 2, full of life and energy. 3, the characteristics of a living being. And 4, the utmost importance. Therefore, the breath that we breathe belongs to Yahweh, who is the utmost importance for your body to stay alive. Yahweh Ben Yahweh's life, word, energy, and characteristic influence is the mental and ethical traits in which our spiritual intellect is given or taken away. It's been said we are what we eat. When we speak, ingest, and live the words of Yahweh Ben Yahweh, we not only connect with him, but we also increase life and the character of our mental capacity. Instead of retaining waste in our belly, our brain acts as that storage retainer and oversees all the functions our body needs to stay alive, which includes breathing. Or should I say, it wouldn't function properly without the mental influence of Yahweh Ben Yahweh. During the renovation of my own life, I gained knowledge and understanding that Yahweh, my true Father, But I did not know this until Yahweh came in the flesh as the Son, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, to reveal himself to me, as it is written in Matthew 11:27. Yahweh Ben Yahweh says in John 10:30, I and my Father are one. While studying Yahweh Ben Yahweh, I received wisdom and understanding of how to demonstrate consequential influence to apply my total self. How to continue planting seeds through the action of eliminating corrupt seeds, failed processes, and how to free myself from moral imperfection. Family, I, Shifra, struggled with living because I was unaware of what life really is. Yahweh Ben Yahweh came so that I may have life and that I may have it more abundantly, full of glory and hope. As I mentioned, our breath is vital. A synonym for the word vital is resurrection. The word resurrection is defined as the raising of Yahweh Ben Yahweh from the dead. According to the New Webster's Concise Dictionary of the English Language, page 624. This applies to me in the sense that through the words of Yahweh Ben Yahweh and his actions, I am risen from the dead. Through the angry and vital breath that he released in me, mentally, physically, socially, and emotionally. He restored my life and power, which are my chief qualities and are required for me to have an abundant relationship with Yahweh Ben Yahweh. This brings me to the end of part 1. I will return with part 2 of All in One Breath. Shalom, family. Baruch Hashem, Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh.
Not quite yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. What an exceptional demonstration on her name.
Praise Yahweh.
We understand we were capturing a different element of her name. So I appreciate her position in sharing. Toda Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. We are getting close to the time that we have to end the night. And I do want to thank all the people who donated this far and encourage all the people who haven't, don't wait around. Come on, let's get it together. We all a part of this movement. This is a significant movement in our nation. And as we see other nations going down, Yahweh is ready to bless us. And he has blessed us, even with the idea of coming together, training ourselves how to work together, training ourselves how to cooperate in business and cooperatively manage those businesses. That's what Yahweh Ben Yahweh demonstrated to us in the flesh with the businesses that he started. He didn't man those businesses. He didn't work those businesses by himself. It was a collective effort within our nation to come together and do those things. And those things were being done all across the country, even in the Caribbean and foreign countries. Yahweh Ben Yahweh's influence was known and his greatness was known. And well, it's like this. If we call ourselves disciples of Yahweh Ben Yahweh, then the first people say, well, what are you doing? What do you have to show for the wisdom? Well, at due time and in due season, it's time for the righteous, serious children of Yahweh to come together and produce those things. And it's not for just the world to see, it's to rescue our future. The world will just happen to see and want to come and learn of our God, Yahweh, through our works. That's just the prophecy. That's just what's going to happen.
And the works that we're demonstrating now is collaborating and really coming together and on one accord in our business practices and building a future for our youth. We have had this piece, a demonstration of talent from our youth, from young and younger.
Absolutely.
And we're all youth in our Father Yahweh and the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. So that said, we've had an amazing show of talent from all of our family. And I'm excited about the other talents that we'll be lifting up and supporting through this micro grant program for small
Absolutely.
businesses. As you and many of us have discussed on many calls, that we are creating products and services that meet the needs of our families. And I'm excited to talk about and look into the future of a toothpaste that we're currently developing.
Absolutely.
And just the micro grant program has been supporting perfectly pure products already. Our sister Zabia Athalia and working to create this product. So it is in the works, family.
Absolutely.
We're talking about understand.
Okay. Your computer just decided to
Unmute itself. All right.
We know what that is.
Here we go.
All right. All right.
So
you were saying?
We're talking about creating the essential businesses. Now, there were conversations, I guess, in some of our chats about certain types of business models, and we want to really lift up like a collaborative or cooperative business model as a way to assume a position of production. Now, what we haven't been exposed to, family, is how to produce goods that are commodities, things that are consumables. And that's a move that we want to move towards, because what that means is there'll be a day and time where we want to meet our needs.
Right.
Like we want to be able to like take baths. We want to be able to put on stuff that make us smell good. We want to be able to.
And we want to control those products. We want to produce those products. We want to produce the food that we eat. We want to be able to feed ourselves. We don't no longer want to be like the baby. And one of Yahweh Ben Yahweh's teachings, how he said, we're like the baby. We want to eat, but we don't have no notion of where this food come from. You know, we just want to eat. Well, it's time for us to grow up, because all of us want to eat. But unless we produce the food that we eat, we're subject to another nation and giving all our wealth to them for our desire to eat. Why can't we make our nation rich from our desire to eat?
So reclaiming the commodities
absolutely
is a work that we can do, and we can do that through the production of our goods, our services, product creation. So if our family is out there creating new businesses and they're meeting actual basic needs, like we are releasing a seminar today, well, actually tomorrow, on the power of living food from Brother Aman, and he's teaching us how to live off of the sprouts. And so having these people that are creating businesses based off of sprouting, growing, and food production is going to be an essential, necessary business.
Absolutely. And the wisdom we found, we went over in class, you know, we all studied together and we listened to those definitions and we gained that wisdom. And like I was saying, Yahweh Ben Yahweh taught us how to study. And so anything you want to know, get to the truth, all you have to do is study it, exercise the 10-step study method, and you will get to the conclusion of the wisdom of a thing. That's what we're commanded to do. I do want to put that challenge out. The lines
are open,
and donation apps and
the links are in,
things,
and
links.
I do want to thank Yahweh for the family who's donated this evening. I want to make sure, you know, we got family that donated in. I saw a $500 donation that came in from a pledge. So I want to thank our family from CNS Electric for your actual monetized donation coming in.
Oh, I think that was Orlando.
That was Orlando.
Orlando in the house.
And we want to challenge our family.
A young brother from Orlando,
he donated.
Made a donation, and believe me, that is a great donation. Don't, you know, people be tripping on how the amount. Any amount is going to help the cause. Anything you can give, go ahead and give it.
So what are we doing, Brother Lou? We are talking about creating the framework for the nation building. And by supporting with a micro grant program, by creating a nation building institute, by creating and developing real estate and other
Other holdings.
we are coming together to meet our collective needs. So that said, family, if you see a need for any of these things, now's the time for you to text, pick up your cell phone and text to 504-336-3280, the word donate, so you can get that link in your phone right now.
And that pretty much does it for tonight, unless somebody has a donation they want to say on the air. If not, we're going to bring this night to a close, Feast of Tabernacles. And remember, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh taught us Feast of Tabernacles is designed for us to remember our wealth and remember that we did much business in Judah. It was up to all of us to take care of our needs for our people. And we always accomplish our missions as it relates to taking care of ourselves when we were subject to the laws of Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. And since we have no hands raised, I guess we can get ready to close out. I thank Yahweh for being able to present this evening. I thank Yahweh for all of the people who are present and listening to attending the Feast of Tabernacles, night 6.
This concludes night 6.
This concludes night 6 of Feast of Tabernacles. And now I'd like to invite you to stand and face the east with outstretched hands as we offer up a prayer to our Heavenly Father Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Tefillah. Aleinu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemecha, Tavo Makuterka, Yehazerizonka, King Bashemayim, King Ba'aretz, and Lekum Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimo Shasoakim, Gamanatnu, Lakotim Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Minhara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Gibera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh.
We'll see you the same time tomorrow night. Praise Yahweh.